Mercy is for the weak. We do not train to be merciful here. The man face you, he is enemy. Enemy deserve no mercy.
Welcome back, everybody, to Twin Humanities in our first episode of this season without a guest. My name is Paddy. I am the ginger one. On my left is CJ, the luscious brunette.
Coffee Jesus.
Hey. And this week we're talking about evil. Okay, to wind in on this one, we've all been playing Dark Souls 2. I've been enjoying it. CJ, have you been enjoying it?
I've been playing Dark Souls 2, but not in the same way as you have, because you've been going on a completely different route and challenging your own perceptions and doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do in the game. And as for me, I've been co-oping with Laura Rich, previous guest of the show, which most of the time has just involved us laughing so hard that we struggle to get past the 10-minute stretch in New Game Plus.
Nice.
So, but fun times.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Sometimes you just got to do that.
Yeah. Well, I just to lead it on this one then. So I've been playing it as I've been enjoying it. But I've noticed there's not been as many invasions, and I have mentioned this before on previous shows, that there doesn't seem to be as many people invading. There's no, when you try and join the Blue Covenant, and it will take you half an hour to get summoned, and there's no one really there's no real Red Phantom people invading you either, and it was kind of, I don't know, it felt like something was missing. It didn't feel proper unless you were being harangued by a red bastard every half an hour or so. It's part of the game.
Are you not getting invaded?
Barely at all.
Because I'm getting invaded loads.
No, I hung about for ages, played through the whole of the main game, got invaded maybe once the entire time. It was guff. I was like, I was kind of looking forward to it.
You'd have thought that, because I was thinking maybe it's because you're ginger, but you'd have thought that maybe that policing setup that sort of hunts after sinners might just lump you in with those.
Yeah, I mean, just like real life.
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But no, they seem to be ignoring me. Maybe it's because I have my hair as not ginger on my main character, but...
Maybe once you get that haircut that you're going to get sort of later, maybe they'll go, hey, we'll go after that smart ginger sinner.
Yeah. Who does he think he is with a fancy
Maybe that's
haircut?
programmed in there more than soul memory and all that other stuff.
Gingerness is the secret stat they don't show you.
Gingerness, yeah.
But yeah, I thought I'm not really getting invaded, and I'd recently started a new build because obviously my main guy is just like everybody, armor up, shield up, creep through the game with your ship like sitting behind the door. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try a different build. I'm going to try a different guy. I'm going to try and beat it in a stupid way. And that's why I started my fist build that I have talked about on this show before again, which is like basically no armor, dual cestices. That's about it. No magic, no shields, nothing. Just dual cestus the entire time. And it's been fun, I was battering around and again noticed not really being invaded. And this is like a couple of months in, you're thinking, I should be being invaded by now, surely. Like, the bastard should be in effect by now. And I was kind of a bit disappointed that I wasn't really being invaded much. So I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to invade. I am going to become death. I am going to become that guy that goes to the early areas and scares the shit out of all the new players. I want to be that. Because I was never that in the first Dark Souls. I never invaded. I'd been the recipient of a red phantom. I had never been the red phantom. I don't know about you. Did you invade much?
In the first game?
Ooh.
Not really that much, no.
No.
I think I was going to go and do it on my one bro run, but that meant getting to the other snaky, the other snaky bloke, and joining the Covenant really. So it was something that I planned upon doing, but didn't. But did rather enjoy sort of helping others out when they were invaded, because I presume in the same way as many of those invaders were overpowered and just trying to make people's lives a misery, that they didn't expect me to be packing
some sick heat. Yeah, so I did a little bit of thinking about it and thought, well, where do you join the Brotherhood of the Blood, which is the bad covenant? You can get there really early.
Yeah,
really early, which is amazing compared to Dark Souls 1, where you had to basically beat most of the game before you could get there. You can be in the Brotherhood of the Blood area in what, 2 bosses if you really went for it.
Didn't as a little aside, didn't somebody finish the game in 22 minutes recently?
I saw that video. I'm sort of impressed and sort of not impressed. Utilising glitches. No, do it properly.
All right, I haven't seen the video. I just
massive.
It's amusing.
It's interesting as an exercise, I guess. But no, not for me. Do a real run, then we'll talk. But yeah, you can get to the Brotherhood of the Blood guy really, really quickly if you put your mind to it. All you have to do is go to Haid, beat the Dragon Rider. Talk to Miracles McGee upstairs, take her, go back to Medulla, meet her, open up the shortcut and head straight through. Straight to the Executioner Chariot, beat him, job's a good one. In the real world, it probably took me a bit longer than that, because I don't know if you're aware, but not having a shield and using fist weapons means you have no range. 0 range and not many defensive options.
So what inspired the fist weapons thing?
I just thought it. I was reading one of my books from my favourite authors, a guy called Joe Abercrombie, a book called The Heroes. And there's a character in there called Wirren of Bly, who's like a fabled swordsman guy who just sort of hangs about and just enjoys a good fight. And he has a quote which goes something along the lines of, "Armour is part of a state of mind where you admit the possibility of being hit." And I thought, yeah, that sounds fun. All right, I'll take my armour off. And I thought, well, I've never used a fist weapon before. And I remember getting, I think the one invasion I had, this guy wrecked me with dual cestices. I'm like, well, that sounds fun. I'm going to do some shoryukens on people. So I thought, fuck it, let's do it. Let's go for a fist run. So that's really what inspired the whole thing. I have since made a concession to wearing trousers, only because they look cool. Unupgraded trousers, because I don't want to look at a naked zombie arse running about all the time. You know, there's things I like to do with my time, and there's things I don't. And watching a perfectly rendered zombie arse jiggle, So I popped a pair of pants on. But yeah, particularly Huntsman's Copse, the trek through there to get to the Executioner Chariot, it was one of the hardest things I've done. In the game, I think, totally one of the hardest things. Again, you realise how much you rely on a shield when you do something like that, and going in there with 0 range against those the catchpole guys that hide around that corner before you get to the big long bridge that goes towards the Executioner's Chariot. Bloody hell, those guys don't fuck about. You get so adept at kind of just taking one out. Just making him, just going forward a little bit. Oh, bring the first one back to the main, back to the entrance to that area, fight him, then walk forward a little bit further and bring the next one in and sort of coat them out one by one. Tricky fights, but doable. And then you meet the Red Phantom at the end of that bridge, the one that was there in the beta, the one that I call New Havel.
Okay.
Massive shield, honking greatsword, armour for days, poise for days. That fight didn't go well. That took a very long time to beat that guy. And I didn't beat him well either. I beat him in a shameful way.
How so?
Well, I'd bumped against him probably 10 times. At this point, there were no catchpole guys left. They'd all despawned. And I was fighting him again, trying to lure him out on the bridge, hit him a couple of times, and then sort of let him get disinterested and walk off, and then sneak behind him again and do it again. Wasn't really getting anywhere, so I kept trying and kept trying and kept trying. And then in the middle of one of the fights, I kind of just, complete idiot, rolled the wrong way, rolled off the bridge, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Bit upset. And then I saw him roll the other way off the other side of the bridge. And I thought, why did you do that? Why? I was done. I'll take it. Fuck it. I'll take it. And lo and behold, when I went back, he was gone. Bit of a dirty win, but I'll take it, you know? Beating the Executioner Chariot himself with just fist weapons. Really hard. Really, 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 really hard, because the usual tactic of run into an alcove, shield up, let the skeletons bang off your shield a bit, let the chariot run them over, move on, doesn't work when you don't have a shield. You really have to utilise some very last-second dodges out of the way into those cubby holes, because the skeletons will just follow you in.
Yep.
And cut you to pieces while you wait there. Probably 7 or 8 times that happened in a row, and I was like, for God's sake, I couldn't even get near the end. But the fates aligned. I managed to get a good bit of a damage in. Managed to punch the chariot to death in one go once I got to it, which was very, very empowering. A guy I helped out because I was trying to, chunk up some souls before I did it. A guy I helped out actually dropped 2 +10 cestices for me. And I was like, you utter legend.
What? He dropped 2 +10s?
Yeah. I was helping him out. You can see I was fisting it up. And I was running around with him, helping him clear out the cops because I needed a few souls because I was, a bit weak. I thought, I'll level up my strength a bit.
You sound like one of the Sopranos when you're talking about it like that. Just clearing out the cops.
It's clearing up the caps. And this guy was just kind of running around in little circles and pointing and waving, and I was like, what's going on? And then about 30 seconds later, I saw the items appear, and it was 2 +10s, and I was beside myself in joy. Because that's the sort of thing you can't get for ages and ages. So I sent him some nice messages.
Did you note down the name of this legend?
I did, but it is on the PS3, and I completely forgot to take it off before starting the show.
You should find the name of that legend.
I'll find it. He will go in the show notes. I will do my best to get him in the notes of the YouTube description. Whoever you are, you wonderful person, you saved my butt.
With fistings. With +10 fistings.
+10s fistings. Times 2. 2 +10 fistings. Which accounts for +20, which is way better.
So what kind of difference did that make to your punchage?
Quite a bit. It really shows you how much the weapon scaling does help when you go a quick jump like that from... Because I was using +3s at the time. Going at the +10, just instantly mincing the regular zombies in a couple of hits. Like, boom, boom, you're done. Boom, boom, you're done.
So at what point did you start invading with these to test them out, or?
Well, first thing I did, once beating the chariot, nipped upstairs, went to say hello to Titchy Gren, with that wonderful voice actor. Really,
it's incredible.
Good. Do you want blood? And I was...
Yeah, he said lots of it.
Blood.
Yeah, it's not quite that northern, Patrick. But
blood.
Oh, blood like Marmite.
Oh, right, go on that.
On my toast, boiled egg on top, mash it in, eat, smack a man in the face, have some more blood. It's time on sandwiches.
Sticking on some Orvis. Anyway, you meet him, you join the Covenant. I'm like, fucking brilliant, right? Part of the Covenant, great. Let's wreck some people's days. And I thought, right, I've got at that point I had about 6 cracked eye orbs. 6 or 7. I thought, right, where can I go? Where's going to be the best place for me to use these? What place was the worst for me, the most Dark Souls place I could think of? It was almost completely, the choice was almost completely made up for me then. No Man's Wharf. I thought, if anyone's going to have a hard time and going to hate an invader, that's where they're going to hate it. So off I went to No Man's Wharf for my first real invasions. Wow.
How
What's
so?
fun. Well, you pop your eye down, You use your summon eye. It pops you in to the wharf, usually quite far through it when it pops you in. I had it spawn in on the little pathway going up to the boat. I had it spawn in up the top near the bell. You know, sort of second half of the levels where you tend to spawn in on there. Mm-hmm. First game is always trying to find where your host is, because usually you'll find they'll be quite a bit behind you in the first sort of half of the level. I spent quite a bit of time learning, just walking around and seeing which enemies were still there. So it's right, well, they've not been past here yet, and let's look over there. No, that guy's still there, so they can't have been there yet. And sort of ascertaining whether or not, you know, I should cut the corner. You could hop over to the early area off one of the walkways and cut straight through to the part where you first meet the guys chucking the oil pots. Mm-hmm. You can cut a right bit off, so you know you pop around a bit there. The first invasion, the very first one I had, was probably one of the most memorable. I looked for this guy for ages. I basically ran back through the entire level. Couldn't see him. There was enemies everywhere. Couldn't see him. Ran. So I ran all the way back to that very first room that you go into where there's two soldiers lying on the floor. Mm-hmm. And the guy at the top. I walked into that room, saw that the soldiers were dead, heard a thump, looked behind me, and the guy had rolled off the roof. He was obviously hiding up the roof. Mm-hmm. And then he just bolted. Now, what makes this better is that the character had blue spiky hair, and mm-hmm. their username was something like D Sonic X. I got spawned into a game where a guy was being Sonic the Hedgehog, and he just ran like fuck. Mm-hmm. Ignored all the enemies, just bolted for it. And I kind of couldn't quite take the invasion seriously at that point. I was like, this is ridiculous. What is my life? I'm chasing a man pretending to be Sonic the Hedgehog. But I chased him down, and he completely ignored me for the most part. I was like, right, well, I'm not going to bother about. I'm going to hit him. Mm-hmm. He got tangled up with a couple of actual enemies. I thought, you know what? No mercy.
Do you think he was doing a speed run and you basically just ruined his day?
Probably. I really hope I did. But yeah, I took him down, and that was a good feeling. Like, that's your first one, first invasion, first kill, like, fucking brilliant. The following invasions, bit of a mixed bag. Couple of ganks where people were clearly had their two summons in, sitting in the bonfire room just waiting, mm-hmm. Which was less fun, I'll admit. Yeah, I had a couple of really, really good sort of cat and mouse sort of chasey fights. And again, this is me with my fists out. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm not having real fights with these people. I'm having get in, punch a little bit, and hope they haven't got a halberd. Yeah, I had some small fights with them, as you do.
I presume you're quite light at this point as well.
Oh god, yeah, nippy as crap, like way below the equip threshold, because cestuses don't weigh anything. The trousers I'd picked were the undead swordsman ones, I think, or the undead soldier. Basically, they've got red boots. So you've got these black trousers with a little belt at the top, and these just sort of like vivid red boots. Mm-hmm. It's a good look. It's a really good look. No shirt, no gloves, no hat, nothing. Just beard and trousers. It's all I'm equipped with. Mm-hmm. A couple of times, it's amazing because I was being quite a friendly like phantom. I was waving at people and bowing and doing stupid movements with them. Letting them fight an enemy first before fighting me. I was trying to be nice about it. Mm. A couple of times, people would see me. I'd wave at them. They'd wave back, but they'd remove their weapons and fist fight me.
Awesome,
right? Like
legends all.
I felt slightly bad because I had my cestuses on. I don't think they noticed. So I was doing way more damage, but they all had armor on. Mm. So it kind of balanced out in the end. Like they were doing piss all damage with their fists, but I didn't have any armor. And I was doing quite a bit, but they were chunked up on armor, so it was taking a bit longer to take them down. Mm. It resulted for some quite good fair fights, actually, and I got a couple of nice messages afterwards, like, "Oh yeah, good fight." I was like, "Oh, wicked, you too." And this is where
you thought in that higher pitch.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's nice.
Thank you.
You're a cool guy.
Thank you, Mr. Fighter."
Thanks, guys. And that's where you start learning the problems in why you don't see many invasions. Mm-hmm. This is where you learn why. At that point, after a half an hour, I ran out of cracked eye orbs. Completely out, empty. I was like, right, shit, where do I get more? Ran back to Tipsy Gren. He doesn't sell them.
Okay.
Not on New Game. He sells them on New Game Plus for about 10 grand a pop. but he doesn't actually sell the cracked eye orbs. And this is where you learn the only way to get more is to win an arena fight.
Okay.
Well, that was a bit different. I had a bit less fun in that the first time I tried it.
Were you getting walloped?
The matchmaking was a tad fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Walloped is probably understating it. You get summoned into the fights and you walk in and you wave at your opponent, they wave at you, and they close in and you can see they've got a sword that's bigger than you that's glowing with electric fire. And they run up and you look at them and they've got the end game armor sets on, like the King's armor set, and you're like, what? And they're just running at you at this point. Like, they're barely waving, they're just going for you. Mm-hmm. And here's me with my two little, quite pansy, when you compare them, fist weapons, looking at them going, oh dear, oh no. Usually one hit pummeled, one hit kills, you know, and I'd have to hit them. A couple of times I got matchmaked against someone like that and got a couple of hits in, I'd probably have to hit them 20 times to take them out. They'd have to hit me once. And again, that's probably my own damn fault because I was too stubborn to put armour on. But, you know, it felt a little bit dishonourable. But also, oh god, sorcery users in that area. Jesus fucking Christ. There's one of the arenas you have is a bridge. You both start at each end of the bridge. You run across the middle, fight in the middle. You start running across. You see someone summon the homing arrows above their head. You're like, oh, okay, I've got to do a bit of dodging. You're running close. You start to, you know, begin your dodge animation, and they just throw down this. I don't know what it is. It might be this soul geyser that people keep talking about. Basically, it's like a big blue glowing kind of black hole of pain. Okay. One hit kills. Twice in a row. I was like, okay, bollocks to this. This isn't fun. I'm not having fun. I'm not doing this anymore. And it's the only way, winning those fights is the only way you can earn a cracked eye orb before you get to New Game Plus. And that's when I started to realise why.
So are you going to, from here, try and get to New Game Plus and then carry on the evolution, or?
Actually, no. Actually, no. There are ways around it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's a lot to tell here. I've got a lot of notes.
You may continue.
Yeah. What you can buy from Titchy Gren, as a way of invading people without them, is you can buy the red soapstone.
All right, okay.
Yeah, and the red soapstone basically leaves a summon sign down, and you can summon in someone like usual, but you'll summon them in for a fight, rather than summoning them in to help you. So I thought, you know what? Let's see if people are doing that, because I know that I avoided every single one. I don't know about you, but I never would have touched one of those things.
I've seen a few PvP videos where somebody's laying down the sign in Hyde's Tower of Flame, actually, near the bonfire.
Well, now right on the head there.
Yeah, the top of the stairs just after the bonfire. That seems to be sort of the little arena where most of that was cracking off.
Yeah, you would be
and I saw them
right on the head, because that's where I went.
The iron sort of castle thing.
Oh, the bridge.
Yeah, I saw them a lot on there, but then again, that's where I saw the dragon signs as well quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, you can join the Dragon Covenant in that area, which is probably why. But yeah, no, I thought, well, where have I seen a lot of them? I've seen them in Hade, I'll go to Hade. So off I went. Popped my sign down. Had one of the most enjoyable hours I've ever had.
How so? In
the game. You get summoned in, you drop your sign down, think maybe I'll get summoned, maybe I won't. I'll give it a couple of minutes. If I don't get summoned, I'll just bugger off back to the arena and just bang my head against that until I win. Sign down. 20 seconds later, you're being summoned. I was like, what? People are going for this? Brilliant. In you go. You tend to turn up. Usually, you tend to arrive in that room where the 3 guys are, that sort of circular room with the 3 stone guardians in it. So out you go, you run along the little bridge, and you look down, you can see people fighting down there. You're like, oh, cool, there's a thing. Run on the bridge, you can wave from a distance, and they wave back. And the good news is here, they all seem to be of a decent level.
Yeah.
Like an appropriate level for a reasonable fight. You weren't running in just to be ganked. You weren't running in against endgame, plus 57 lightning swords. You were running in against people just using, Drang Lake Mail, a sword, maybe a couple of soul arrows. It wasn't mega stupid fights. No, you could take a couple of hits and be all right. it was really fun.
Yeah.
Really honourable fights as well, because people were bowing and waving and, generally having fun with it. I tried putting on the white ring as well to see if anyone would notice, but I think everyone was hip to my shit on that one. Because, I hit your red sign. You're not a nice person. I was like, oh, I know. It's like they're clearly not doing anything different. Had some really good fights against some guys that are fighting really all out dual weapons. Again, people were taking out their fists and fighting me fist to fist, which was fun.
What, changing up their weapons just to fight you on?
Yeah, which was surprising and really enjoyable. I think the victory, what you get for beating those fights, I think it's just souls and tokens of spite. I think, or you win from that. You don't win the cracked eye orbs for doing those fights, but it didn't matter because I was having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, I was literally earning nothing for doing this. Like literally nothing of any consequence I was earning. But it was really good. I'm having a really good time. And I thought, I've been here for an hour and I've earned maybe 1,000 souls, but it doesn't matter. Because it's fun. I had a couple of amazing invasions where it was clearly someone's first time sort of fighting a new person. And I was chasing them back across the area. And there was this one guy, bless him, with his shield up. He was kind of just rolling away, and he's kind of keeping his shield towards me, and he was backing off, and I was just, at this point, because I don't have a shield, so I'm like, fuck it, all out offense, run straight at them. Bless him, he rolled backwards off the edge of the ledge.
What, purposely or not?
I don't think it was purposely. And he went down, and I had to sort of bust out the, nah mate, the sort of the no way emoticon at the edge of the ledge. And I felt really bad about it. And I also started doing the move that our friend Laura Rich told us about on the last episode. When you beat someone, you bow.
Oh, just the
do a single emote and walk away.
You mean nothing to me, oh Vienna.
Yeah. And that's what's going in there. I was like, do a little bow, turn, and just walk away. And man, you feel so cool when you do that. And you know that you're just vanishing from their world as you walk off. So yeah, I had real fun with it. Really good fun. And I sat there for about an hour or so, had a bit of fun with it. I thought, well, that was good. I enjoyed it. I've not really earned anything though, and I want to get back to invading.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll go back to the arena. I'll give it another chance. Night and day, my first and second goes at the arena. When I went back, for some reason, the matchmaking was much better. I was being put up against people that were still way tougher than I was, but I felt like I had a chance. And there's a couple of different arenas you can pick. There's one that's got platforms supported above a low sort of arena base. There's one that's got a tower in the middle, and there's the bridge one we spoke about. And it's amazing how nice people were.
Yeah.
Because you join the arena fight, you get summoned in you sort of spawn in a little cage. You run up the stairs of the one with the little platforms. Anyway, you run up the stairs. You see the other person doing the same thing. Run to sort of the middle of this sort of cross section of platforms. Wave at them, and they wave back. Do a little bow. They do a little bow back. Bollock around for a bit before you do the real fight, and off you go. I saw very little in the way of cheap tactics. There was no bullshit overpowered sorcery this time. People still had their, big spear of horrible hex infusions or whatever they are. There were some sort of glowing black spears that did not go well for me. But I found I was being summoned in with the same people quite a bit. And I kept kind of making friends with them.
How so?
Well, there was one guy. I think his name was the Imperial Spy. And I remember his name. So, okay, I've seen this guy before. And he's got I think he had a spear build, I think it was, or a katana build. And there's me with my stupid no range build against a sort of lightning fast sword. There's no chance. And he'd beaten me a couple of times, and I got summoned in again, and it was him again, and I ran up to the middle bit, and we waved at each other again. And he sort of started going towards me. I thought, nah. So I did the no way gesture, nah mate. I ran off. I ran away from him. He chased me a little bit. I kept running away. Ran a bit more, waved every now and again, ran a bit more. There's a few bits as well where you can sort of stop on sort of opposite sides of a hole. with a bit of distance between you. You can sort of wave, and he would wave, and he'd go one way, and I'd go the other way. And then after a minute, he started doing it too. So I decided, you know what? No, I'm going to fight him now. So I turned around, started running at him. He started running away. So I then did a sort of mock, I'm looking for him. So I ran around a bit and would run down the wrong pathway, point, and then do the, nah, he's not there. Run around, run down a different one. He's not there either. Nah, mate. After about 3 minutes of this, thought, I wonder if he'll be, I wonder if this will work. I put on my white ring. Because at this point we're still both glowing red. I put on my white ring and waved at him. And then he did the same. He put his white ring on, waved, and then we ran up together and we stood next to each other, just emoting at each other for a minute. He sent me a message about lovely weather we're having. I sent one back, oh yes, charming, wonderful chap. Shall we fight now? Yes, I believe we should fight, yes. Made our way back to the agreed upon...
After what degree of time had passed on this?
This is about 5 minutes in of just dicking about, waving at each other. So we got back to the regular position, still wearing the white rings. I was like, shall we fight? Yes, we shall. Took off the white ring, did an attack. He did the same thing, took off his white ring, did a little attack, and then we had another fight. I completely lost. But yeah, it was just some of the most fun I've had. Just being stupid with people that are supposed to be your enemy. It was really, really fun. And again, a few times that would happen. People would take off their fist, take off their weapons, and they'd fight you fist to fist, and you get a little message back going, oh, good fight. No, yeah, you too. Came across some ridiculous ranges on some of the weapons. The katanas in particular are very broken. I think the Uchi, came up a guy, I asked him afterwards, like, what weapon was that? Like, he stabbed, and the hitbox seemed to extend another 3 feet from the tip of the sword.
Really?
Because I'm like, that shouldn't have hit me. I was miles away. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And, it's like, I said to him, I said, is it? He went, yeah, it is pretty broken. I was like, oh, you still used it though, didn't you? Well done. But, he was quite cordial about it. I was like, yeah, it's a bit broken, but it works. I was like, oh, fair enough, to be fair. This is the only way to earn cracked eye orbs. It's the only way you're going to win some. And I won a few cracked orbs back again. I won 3 or 4 back off the fight. Again, for about, 2 hours of fights? Lost a couple of evenings to it over the coming couple of days. I'd just go to the arena, like, right, I'm just going to arena. I'll do 3 more fights, then I'll go to bed. And I had a little bit of a Twitter meltdown while I was doing it. It's like, oh, no, that guy had a spear. No, okay, do over. Oh, no, that guy didn't wave. No, do over. And, oh, no, that guy used an Estus. No, do over. I became that guy who shouts boo Estus at his screen when people would heal. And I did it. I went, boo, Estus! And then immediately felt the shame. The crushing shame of knowing that I'm becoming one of those people. So, yeah, I felt bad. But kept doing it. It was good fun. And it ended up, my 3 more fights turned into about 30. And, going to bed at 2 a.m., just drunk on fighting. And again, it's amazing how you think that it's not for you. Like, in the first game, I didn't think invasions were for me. Like, I appreciated them, but I thought it's a way of going to someone's game, wrecking their shit, and walking off. Yeah. I thought, it sounds fun, but it's not really for me. It totally is for me. And the fact that I was going in with, again, quote marks, a shit build, like, non-optimized for anything. Like, it's not a good build I went in with. Going in knowing that you're going to lose makes the winning even better.
Well, wasn't it on a recent Sunlight Blade vid, he was saying about, don't concentrate on doing what people would sort of applaud you for doing, or not going in to do anything right. Just do something fun, do something different, just have a laugh with the game.
Use the thing that you find a laugh. And he's bang on the money. He is so bang on the money. Because, like I say, I was sitting there playing with my pretty crap build, but when you do manage to take someone out with it, you feel like a god. You're like, yes! Bow before my fists of pain!
Kneel before Zod.
Yes, literally kneel before Zod. There's quite a lot of when you're in the arena, there's quite a lot of the battle cry emote used when you beat someone. Down to one knee going, Rah! Are you not entertained? it's become the new well, what is it? I think.
Okay.
You stick your knee forward and it's rah, 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 rah. I've also in the arena that night played hide and seek with someone. I kept running away and you'd wave and then run away and they'd run after you and they'd point at you like, oh, they found me, and then run away again. So really, if you are willing to risk, waving and doing some stupid stuff at the start of a fight, more than often someone will do stupid stuff back at you. Because there's always that worry, if you run in, you wave, and they just run behind you and backstab you. And that happened a couple of times. I thought you're trying to be funny, and they just literally sprint straight behind you, backstab done, walk on. Like, good honour. You did it. Good job.
Yeah, it was pointed out, though, that is a mechanic in the game that's to be taken advantage of. So, some people will enjoy playing the bad guy, and it's important that there is that choice.
Yeah, it's good that there is the choice, but I know. I think while I did join the Brotherhood of Blood to be a twat, there's some honour to be had in being a twat. I think I'd be lawful evil if I had to choose an alignment.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always bow first, and I'll always give someone a chance to wave back. But yeah, I played a bit, earned a few cracked oil, went back to Haid and thought I'd try invading there. Ended up with a guy. I invaded him. We had a bit of a fight. It was quite a good fight, and then he sent me a message going, "Oh, good fight." I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks." "Oh, your technique's very effective." I was like, "Oh, thank you." It's me.
That sounds like a bad translation.
No, it was
like another language. Your
technique is very effective.
Yeah,
you use fist well. Ended up being friends on the PSN with him and helping him clear out the Wharf as a sun bro.
Okay.
Or as a summon bro, and I thought, I'm really not good at this whole bad guy thing, am I?
Mm.
One of the first guys I invaded after I'd earned my second lot of orbs was I made friends with him and helped him out. I thought, I'm bad at this.
Mm.
I thought, okay, well, the Blood Bro's fun, the arena's a good laugh. But I've also heard about the Belfry. And I thought, let's have a look at the Belfry. Because a lot of people, again, on Twitter, and again on, the various, internet forums, will talk about the Belfry and how much fun it is being a Bell Bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, go on then. We'll have a go at that, again, with my stupid build that makes no sense. Let's have a go. So off I trundled to Sinner's Rise. It took me better part of 2 hours to find it again because I can never remember where that place is.
Mm-hmm.
I completely missed the Belfry on my first run of the game. Totally missed it. Never even saw it. I saw people talking about the Belfry in the Bastille. I was like, what fucking Belfry? There is no Belfry. It's like, oh no, there's a Lockstone. Oh crap, I don't have any Lockstones. Brilliant. So I spent about an hour and a half trying to find the nearest Lockstone. Found my way in. Met the little midget who sits at the front and tells you about the Bell of the Prince and the Bell of the Princess. Something that's been expanded upon in one of Dave Control Live's recent vids about Alkun and Ven,
Mm-hmm.
Which is well worth a watch if any of you haven't seen it, because it's very interesting. A little side note as well there. Again, that little Alkun and Ven video led me to having a little bit of an epiphany about a certain character in the game, the Pursuer, in fact, who I think, based on my observations, might be the Mad Knight of Alkun.
Okay.
Because the Ring of Blades, which you get, it says it's modelled after the weapon of the Mad Knight of Alkun. I'm like, okay, interesting. I've not seen a weapon that looks like it. And do you know what I mean? It's a weird shape when you look at the Ring of Blades, and it doesn't seem to match anything. I've been keeping it up maybe something like the Demon's Great Hammer, that sort of thing, a sort of a ring with spikes on it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't find anything, and then I sort of brought up a Google image of it, and I sort of zoomed in a bit. And I thought, well, Alkun, I know about Alkun. Alkun's a place, and there's supposed to be a Mad Knight from there. And I just sort of did a bit of Googling around, and I thought, well, who's got a sword that might have some engravings on it? And I just, as you do, you're just clicking around. The Pursuer's Greatsword has a pattern on it that matches the holes in the Ring of Blades. There's halfway up the blade, there's a really good image of it. You can Google it. If you Google Pursuer's Greatsword, there's a shot with it, with the player version of it over your shoulder. And it's sort of like a circle with sort of two humps meeting it. And if you look at that and then a picture of the Ring of Blades, the pattern on the sword fits in the gap.
Yeah.
It fits in almost perfectly. And I was chatting to the Hex UK from Twitter about this. We were sort of battering ideas back and forward about it. And yeah, I'm pretty convinced that the Pursuer is the Mad Knight of Vulcan.
Wow.
Because you encounter him in the Iron Keep, which is either Vulcan or Ven, I can't remember which, it's been a while. You encounter him, admittedly, in the Forest of Fallen Giants, but he's brung there from a bird from the Bastille, which is where the other place is. And you only seem to encounter him in places that relate to Vulcan and Ven.
So have you actually uncovered the first bit of lore on this? I'm very proud.
I didn't see anyone else talking about it. I was like, maybe that's right.
That's very cool. I remember seeing the tweet and where you did you clue in Dave and Varty?
I did indeed. And I got a nice, good, positive response from Dave about it as well. And he's like, "Oh yeah, maybe." And it's quite nice being able to throw a lore thing out there. You know, like, I think I've worked something out here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, figuring some of that stuff out. I mean,
as well from the Pursuer's thing, he's atoning for his sins, and the Mad Knight of Vulcan was supposed to be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe that's what he's doing, atoning for his sins because he was mad. Or maybe the Pursuer just nicked it from him. You know, could be anything.
Yeah,
he is known to be stealing weapons, so it's still open to interpretation, obviously. But that's how I see it. I like to believe the Pursuer is the Mad Knight of Vulcan.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, we're getting out of we're getting off topic again. I went to the Belfry, and I got to the Belfry, and I joined the Belbro Covenant. And I forgot, of course, even if you're in the Covenant, they can still invade you. Got pretty wrecked up a couple of times. You know, didn't go too well. I thought, well, I just want to really, get summoned in. You know, I want to do it. So you can actually, with the ring and the Covenant equipped, you can be anywhere in the game and get pulled in there.
Uh-huh.
I got pulled in from the Earthen Peak. It's like, oh, someone's invaded the bell tower. I'm like, really? What? And whoop, straight back to the Bastille. You're like, oh, okay, cool. So you can be invaded from basically anywhere in the game. You can grab onto it as soon as anyone enters the Belfry, it will bring you in.
You see, I've only had anything like that with the Guardians of the Blue, but only on my Xbox 360 game.
Interesting.
I haven't on PS3 at all when I've been wearing it, but the 360 one, I got pulled in sort of fairly regularly when I was wearing it, which was
okay. Does it pull you into the level that you're in, or does it move you around? Do you have to be in, say, Hades Tower of Flame to be summoned to someone with a Hades Tower of Flame?
I don't think so. I think it's difficult to ascertain with Guardians of the Blue because a lot of the people that were pulling me in were probably were inexperienced and probably trying to get past the first level. You know, Forest of Fallen Giants in of itself. So it's hard to ascertain in that front. I presume the further they go through the game, the better they get at the game, the less they need the ring on. So
yeah, it's one of those covenants I think you use for the first couple of levels, and then you switch it out for something else more, I don't know, not interesting, but more useful at that point. Like I say, because no one invades, so there doesn't seem like I was getting no invasion, so there didn't seem much point being in the covenant. The Apostles of Blue anyway, because I always try and use it for the first couple of levels, but it's never paid off. Not a single time have I been invaded, or the one time I did get invaded, didn't get helped. It just seemed like a bit of a, not a dead covenant, but it just seems a little bit broken. It seems to be the new Gravelord.
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. But I've had differing experiences on the different consoles, so it's hard to tell really.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Not sure why.
Yeah, it's strange. Maybe people like to invade more on the 360. I don't know. We can posit what the players of different consoles think, but it would be speculation. Not
even sort of doing a fanboy thing. Just generally, I just find it curious.
Yeah. Okay, then. Keeping you up?
Yeah, just having a stretch. I did that thing where I've got a duvet on one of my couches and sort of leaned back over the arm of the chair and fell maybe a little bit too far. And then just tried to turn into a stretch and realised I probably made some sort of inadvertent orgasm noise.
You okay?
So
Slightly falling off my chair. I'm okay.
I'm going mute to get back up. I return.
You have returned. Good. Okay, well, let me tell you some stories from the Belfry.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never joined the Bellkeepers, I can say it's probably the most fun you can have. The most fun. My other half, Laura, actually said she was getting bored from watching me just hanging out in the Belfry being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the only place you are now, and I think I looked at my game time. I think I've clocked 4 hours there total, just hanging about.
Didn't Matt Lees do something similar than that? With
I've not seen it, but I've heard he did a similar thing. Yeah.
With the rat bro stuff.
Well, this is a similar sort of thing. It's like a dedicated area to hang out and be a knob.
Mm-hmm.
And this was it. It fired my arsehole circuits. I was like, ooh, yeah, I can be a dick here. So getting summoned in, you obviously run up, you try and take someone out before they get to the door. It's kind of fun. I enjoy it. Usually you'll be 2-on-1 as well, which is, interesting. And I'd always try and be honourable in a 2-on-1. I'd always stand back and sort of cheer and do the movement like when you've got like a single fist and you're sort of going, oh yeah, with the fist. And watching the other two fight. And then if the host won, I'd then let him heal up, and I'd walk over and I'd bow, and they'd bow, and then we'd have a little fight, which felt nice. I didn't feel like being a dick. Thought I'll be a nice guy. When people are fighting properly, I think I'll be a nice guy. When people start throwing random homing sorcery crap out, you're getting it. Mm-hmm. So like you do, you develop a system of rules in your head. Like, if you didn't bow, you're getting no mercy. If you Estus, you're getting no mercy. If you've got a friend in with you and they're throwing magic as well, you're getting no mercy. Mm-hmm. Because mercy is for the weak, and that's not what we're here for. We're here to earn chunks by beating guys, and my God, can you earn chunks?
Yeah.
Oh God, I am tripping balls in chunks right now. I don't have any large Titanite shards. I've got about 20 Titanite chunks just sitting there.
Is there anywhere to break them down?
To turn them into shards.
Mm.
Not that I'm aware of. There's no France you can
it.
feed them to, as far as I'm aware. That's really interesting. I've not even considered doing that. Ooh, I'm gonna have to Google that later. Ooh, maybe there is a place to do that. I don't know. I'd hope there would be. But yeah, no. My first kind of half an hour to an hour or so was spent being quite honourable, waving at guys, bowing and letting them clear out the enemies in an area, then fighting them that way. Couple of gank spanks, particularly when you go up the stairway. Sorry, not the stairs, the ladders. Mm-hmm. There's the ladder you go up to get to the bell. And a couple of times you'd have people that were waiting there with their hexa builds, just stood there waiting to throw dark magic at you as soon as you reach the top of the ladder, which is a bit disappointing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a way of defending against the Bellkeeper Covenant. It's a way of stopping them beating you. But, it didn't feel like a real fight. I chalked those ones up to failure. But when you're summoned in and you die, you don't lose your humanity. You just spawn back in wherever you were stood when you came in. So you could be human as long as you want in that, which is quite fun. And then I decided, well, the battle's fun. I like being summoned in. But we can probably do better. We can probably do better at this. And this is when I invented the official guide to having the most fun in the Belfry. Mm-hmm. Now, you only need a few tools for this. They're tools you can get quite easily, with minimum fuss. You can expand upon it later if you want, if you're feeling up to it, but you don't need much to make this tactic work. Here are the things you need to have fun in the Belfry. You need the Silver Cat Ring. If you have the carvings, the Hello carvings.
I think I know where this is going.
You can use those. Emotes, particularly the wave animation and the no animation, are useful. And the other tool you need is the hole in the Belfry. On the first floor of the Belfry is the hole that leads in the little secret bit on the side. So when you enter the room, you've got the little dwarf on the right-hand side, and there's that room on the left that you can drop down into. That place if you're feeling like being a dick, that's where you go. And you go there as a human. So you go there in your own game. You put on the silver cat ring so you can drop down the hole and take no damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's for. That's the only reason you have the ring on, to get down that hole and take no damage. And what you can do is you can stand, you run around the corner, and there's the way you get out of there. It's like a little sort of doorway you can sort of just hop out of. Where you stand just around the corner, so people can't see you when they run past. So you can see the hole from one side, you can see the doorway on the other side, and you stand there, and you wait.
Mm-hmm.
And you wait. And someone gets summoned into your game to defend the bell tower. And you think, right, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to not move. I'm going to wait. So you wait. And after a while, you hear them coming. You can hear them, you hear noises coming, and you see your invader will run down the stairs, with their sword and their shield and their Drang Lake mail, which comes up an awful lot in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see them run.
Let's face it, we were both doing that.
Oh god, yeah, it's the best way through. It's sword and shield and Drang Lake mail is the only way to do it. Go through the first way. You see them come down the stairs, and you're sort of stood there, literally just round the corner. They can't see you from that angle. You watch them run around, and you watch them run over to where the midget is. They go find it, and then you see them run back up the stairs again, still looking for you. And you wait, and you can sort of, you can just feel them thinking, where is this prick? Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. People must not know about the hole. They must not know about the secret area.
They will know now.
Yeah, a couple of people, they ran around for 10 minutes, didn't once try the hole, and left.
Really?
It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And as the host, you earn nothing for that but your own satisfaction. I'll have
to refer to you now as Dark Paddy.
Oh, it gets worse. Trust me, it gets worse. If you come against someone who's hip to your shit, and they try the hole, and if you see them go down the hole, you can be quite nifty. If you see them drop down the hole, you run out of the doorway, run up the stairs to the hole, wait until you see them leave that room and drop back in. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they won't see you. So they'll have gone through every area in the whole place and they haven't found you. And you can go back round and hide around the corner again. Mm. And you can watch them sort of run around, and you see people stop. You can see them stop on the stairs, and you can see them look around a bit, like they really don't know what's going on. Oh, I'm feeling bad about this next part. After a while, you can use the hello carving. Mm. Hello! And you'll see them stop and turn around, and they can't see you. And you'll see them walk off again. Mm-hmm. And they'll come back down near the stairs again, and you'll drop it again. Hello! And because you're around the corner, they can't see you. So they don't know where this is coming from. Or if they drop into the hole, you can drop a very good and then run away to make them think they're doing better. I've also taken to punching the wall when they're nearby, so they hear a ting, like, oh, where is he? He's nearby, where is he? And they can't work it out. So yeah, you can do that for a bit. But every now and again, you'll get someone that will work out what you're doing, and they'll know that you're in the hole, and they'll see you run away. And they'll basically start chasing you. This is why you equip the silver cat ring. What you do is you run out and you just lead them on a chase and keep falling down the hole. You won't take damage, they will. Mm-hmm. I nearly killed someone entirely with fall damage over probably 6 separate drops. And because they've come into your world, they can't heal. I was within grasping distance of making someone kill themselves by falling in a hole repeatedly. And they crystalled out in the end, and I was devastated. It's like, no, I was so close, 2 more runs and he would have gone down. I've also stood on the other side of the hole, after running around with someone for a little bit and, thinking, well, I'll fight them properly now. So every now and again you think, well, okay, I'll fight them properly now. I've shown them that I'm clever, and now we'll fight properly. And I fought someone who had like the temple knight gear on, the sort of the furry shoulders. Yeah. Like the dragon shoulder things on. Fought someone with that, and we were sort of waving, and he was waving back, and he dropped a very good at me when he worked out what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'll fight you properly. So I ran up the stairs to the hole, stood on one side of the hole, waved at him. He came up, started running around, so I ran around the other side of the hole and kept the hole between us. Then he stopped. I did the come here movement, the come here. And bless him, he must have known. He just walked casually into the hole. And at that point, I had to drop down and fight him properly because I thought, no, you're a cool dude. You deserve a real fight. But I got a little message after that going, that was good. That was fun. I was like, oh, that was good. I don't think I made someone laugh. See, where this strategy falls apart, though, is when two people get summoned in, because Bell Bros could be summoned in two at a time. Mm-hmm. And if two people are in, they can get very hip to your shit very quickly. If one of them avoiding two people is much harder than avoiding one person. Mm-hmm. Even with the round the corner of safety, it's very, very hard to avoid. So someone will see you and they'll point and you'll wave at them and then run away again. And all it takes is someone to wait on the stairs for you to run around the other side and you tend to get creamed. But that's not to say you can't still have fun with them. Mm-hmm. Because Bell Bros tend to come in one at a time. And there'll be a couple of minutes gap between each one coming in. So what I did is one got summoned in. I did my hiding and running away trick, dropping the hello every now and again, giggling to myself like a dick. Mm. This guy, I think he knew where I was, but he was being, cautious about it and not dropping in the hole because he thought I'd jump him. Ran around a bit, did a few circuits, and then the second person summoned in, and I thought, now what's the douchiest way I can deal with this person? I ran straight for the second summon, took him out, and then continued running away. Like, nope, you're not good enough to fight. I'm going to fight this one, but not you, sir.
So how long did that last?
That total time was about 5 solid minutes of just running away. I fought that one guy and then continued running away until the guy got bored and either crystalled out, or I don't know if there's a timer on Bell Invasions, because I was getting a few people leaving after a while. Mm-hmm. In one very memorable encounter, I made 3 people leave my game in one solid encounter.
How so?
First guy gets summoned in, I hide. He can't find me. Second guy gets summoned in, I still hide. The first guy worked out where I was pointing for the other guy, he couldn't find it. And then the first guy left, whether by timer or whether by crystal, I don't know. So I then run around hiding from the second guy. Third guy comes in, same thing happens. Second guy points a bit, he's found me, but then he left. And then after this while, the third guy also left. I was like, I just sat here for 15 minutes. I fought nobody, but I feel so satisfied. And that's the best thing about being a Bell Bro, is you can basically not fight anybody. You can hide. You can be a complete, coward bro. Hide, run, use all the worst tactics in the world, but you're not actually fighting them, so it doesn't feel quite so bad. Mm-hmm. If I was running up and giving them a +10 dual, double-handed, lightning-infused great club to the face, I don't think I'd feel quite as good about it. The fact that I've taken my stupid build that doesn't have any real weapons, and just used him to become a force of evil, just running and hiding and running and hiding, I don't know, I feel like I've accomplished something.
Do you feel like you're going to take that into maybe Rat Bros next time?
I'm not there yet, but I will be going there soon, and I'm going to investigate because, like I say, I tried the Red Phantom Covenant, because I thought, yeah, let's have some fun, let's be the best. And I only tried the Bell Bros because I had so much fun with the Red Phantoms, and the fun I've had with the Bell Bros, I'm really looking forward to trying it out in the Rat places. Because, when I first did the Rat place, the Royal Rat Authority, or is it the Vanguard, the one where there's a lot of little rats in a big room? I think it's the Vanguard, the one in the hole in Medulla. When I first did that was offline before the launch, so there were no one invading there, so it was just a straight area for me, and I never really experienced it to the fullest. So I will be going there, and I will be making all of the traps, with none of the mercy. And I look forward to working out what's the nuances about that area. Because it seems all the PvP covenants have their own little hook that makes them fun. And I just can't wait. but I don't think I'm going to do it for a while because being in the Belfry is just too much fun.
That it was Matt Lees that got addicted to Ratborough Covenant like that.
I can see why. I see why you'd get addicted because, like I say, all the people on Twitter, people don't join the Brotherhood of the Blood. They join the Belbros. They join the Rat Covenant. But that's where the fun PvP is.
Then he went down to, is it the place where, is it Pharos? I can't think of the name of it. The Tombs of Pharos, is it?
Oh, the area with all the Gurm Knights in it.
Yeah, he went down to there and just started loving it all over again.
Well, I plan on giving each area a good couple of hours each until I settle on which Covenant is the most fun. But so far, as far as the PvP Covenants I've tried go, I've not found a bad one yet. When the matchmaking works, you can have some proper good fights. Proper good fights. And people are usually up for some stupidity. So, if you're interested by this, if you're listening, and you do fancy joining a PvP Covenant, please don't just run in with your plus whatever lightning sword and spam them out. Don't do that. Don't throw homing sorceries at them. Wave at them. Bring a shit weapon. See if they bring a shit weapon as well. Have some fun with a dumb weapon. Like, I had a fight with a guy with a whip. He had a whip. It did nothing to me, but it was fun. And I kept dropping in the, nah, mate, whenever he hit me with the whip. Because it was doing no damage. Like, literally 0 damage. But I think he knew that, and I think he was having fun with it. But yeah, I can safely say that I have had the funnest time with PvP over the last few days. The funnest. Going dark side was the best decision I've made, probably in the whole game so far.
Wow.
I've had as much, if not more, fun out of PvPing than I had being a Sunbro in Dark Souls 1, and that takes some saying.
Blimey.
Yeah.
You changed.
I know, right? I've come to the dark side, and it was good. So I really hope that other people try it the way I do it. Like, just like Sunlight Blade was saying, you don't have to bring an optimal build to have fun. When you start looking at stat differences between, what is 26 strength better and 10 dex, or 24 and 12 dex? Ooh. No, don't be that guy. Don't min-max your stats. Don't be that guy. Bring something stupid. Have fun with it. Don't do the numbers, Just enjoy the thrill of being a dick. And being an inefficient dick as well, because it makes it somehow better. And that's the best advice I can give to anyone that wants to try one of these Covenants out is, don't go in it seriously. Go in for some fun. And you'll get more out of it. You will. Like the people you see who stream Dark Souls, the guys used to hang out in the cops all the time and just hang out in the Huntsman's cops and just hurl abuse at anyone who'd come in. It's like, really? That's the best thing you could do is hang out with your Wrath of God and call people noobs? No. Bring a stupid weapon, have fun with it, and don't be an arse.
Good advice, kid.
Yeah, if you're going to be an arse, be an amusing arse. That's all I can say. Be a funny arse.
A misshapen bum cake.
A misshapen bum cake. So yeah, does that inspire you to try PvP?
Yeah, I think I might have a bit more of a pop at it. Yeah, but NG Plus is the thing I've been sort of tinkering about with, and I think we had a quick pop on with Zaradan and Magic Dave, which we need to get back to at a certain point as well. We do. They've kind of stalled a bit. My fist guy has taken up all of my free time. Don't never say that out of context. There's a quote. Hey, see, there's a title for your bloody show. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but how do I explain that to my mum? Yeah, now you've got that cooking video, you can only undo things from there. Yeah, it only goes downhill from here. Yes. But yeah, unless you have anything more to add, that was my week in Dark Souls. That was my week being an arse. We're good as gold, I think. I've got some community stuff that I'm working on, so I'll plug those into the next episode, and a few Twitch places I've been to that I haven't before. So I'll keep those under my hat. Ooh, so I look forward to it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, next week for all our lovely listeners, next week plans to be maybe a different show. I don't know, because E3 is next week. Yeah,
and I know that I'm staying up till 2 a.m.
Yeah, we should do an E3 prediction show because I think we did that. We did that last year as an offcuts, I think.
I think we did, yeah.
And if anybody hasn't listened, we had a fantastic chat with Gadget Girl Kylie on the Humanities, which went up last week. Lots of Monster Hunter and Soul Sacrifice Delta and Wonder Book, and Dragon's Dogma. Have I already said Dragon's Dogma? I don't know, but it was a really good natter, and she was cracking company. Also, if you are listening, it probably means that you don't have an expensive phone. But if you do have an expensive phone, the most expensive phone, we apologise that things are broken, and we are working on getting that sorted. So if you have gone in via the website to download the Communal Garden MP3, it is appreciated. But we have hosting issues currently, which hopefully we're going to get sorted with a meeting that's happening. Paddy's taking next week, I believe.
Yes, it's happening in the next few days, I believe, and I will do my best to get this arranged as soon as possible. I have to echo what you say. Thank you all for your patience. It is coming soon, I promise you. But, oh joy, the woes of hosting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's a bit of advice from never try and host a podcast, guys. It's really hard.
At least not for Apple, anyway.
No. But otherwise then, I think we should probably sign off then, and we'll see you next time for maybe our E3 show, maybe a Twin Humanities one, who knows?
Possibly there'll be both.
Maybe both. And very possibly a 4 a.m. tired, quiet show after all the press conferences are finished, and we need to be excited.
Yeah, because we were talking before the show, and we think that if Sony have Project Beast on their E3 show, that we think there's a good chance that Microsoft will have Dark Souls 2 for the Xbox One and presumably PS4 on their show. Because funnily enough, Microsoft did have Dark Souls last year, didn't they?
They did indeed.
Because they showed off Rise and everybody went, "Oh, that looks wank," and then they showed off Dark Souls 2 and it looked better than Rise, although it was that sort of build that never came out.
The build with the shadows in it.
Yeah, sparkly build.
But otherwise then, I believe we'll sign off there then. As always, thank you ever so much for listening. You can like and follow and share and do all those good things that help us reach other people. Link us about on Twitter. We've got the Tumblr, which is twinhumanitiespodcast.tumblr.com.
Yep.
The Twitter is at Twin Humanities. I'm at Paddy Stardust. He's at Coffee Jesus with a Z as the first S of Jesus. Subscribing on the iTunes, which will be fixed on soon, honestly. And we just really hope that you stick with us and look forward to seeing what comes out of E3.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, and I wish you all good luck in your invasions.
Cheer bye.
Toodles!